All kinds of things can happen in the AFC playoff picture today, not the least of which is the Indianapolis Colts can clinch a playoff spot with a win here today. The Indianapolis Colts have won the coin toss. They have deferred, which means Jacksonville will get their hands on the football first. That is Jadon Mickens in his own end zone. And there's Frank Reich. Since he has taken over the Indianapolis Colts, fortunes have been good. Decent crowd on hand here in Jacksonville this afternoon. Nice day, too. Not one of those snowy days like Buffalo's.
Very astute point, Greg.
Mickens will let this one bounce into the end zone. And onto the field will come the Jacksonville offense led by Trevor Lawrence, #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. 17 interceptions. Arch, he had 17 picks in 3 seasons at Clemson.
Greg, it seemed like almost yesterday, you and I both did opening day here for the Jacksonville against the Houston Texans. And there was so much optimism and there was so much promise for the future. To say this season has gone off the rails would be an understatement, but he has a chance to go out on top and spoil the Colts' playoff chances.
They started off with Ogunbowale with the carry for about 4 yards. The offensive line for Jacksonville is missing left tackle Cam Robinson and center Brandon Linder today. Walker Little and Tyler Shatley are subbing for that. And who's Trevor Lawrence throwing to today?
Well, it's been a mixing and matching of skill players all season, but if you're looking for silver linings, how about Laquan Treadwell in his 4th season has really made the most out of his opportunity with Jacksonville.
Lawrence cannot get it away before he goes down for the sack. In on him was Bobby Okereke and Al-Quadin Muhammad.
Well, you just can't have free hitters. And this is just a bust in protection, and Okereke just comes flying right up the gut. And again, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. When you have an assignment error, a bust in protection, you have free hitters at your quarterback, it makes it pretty much impossible to operate back there for Lawrence.
3rd and 12. On the slant. That is complete and across the 35 and close to the 40 to Marvin Jones for the first down.
If there has been one steady, somebody that you can't count on in this offense is Marvin Jones. He's the leader up there, and he's been in the NFL for 10 seasons. He has 66 catches, 744 yards. He's not going to really threaten you or kill you down the field, but a reliable target, and that was a really nice throw on 3rd down.
Ogunbowale going to try the right side. Now cut it back and lose yardage on the play. Kenny Moore coming up from the secondary for the hit. The Indianapolis Colts with their 4-3 defense. And a good one it is.
Well, it starts, Greg, up front, and DeForest Buckner, who really has been an Iron Man for the Indianapolis Colts. He's kind of been dealing with a bit of a knee injury. There's been a question on whether or not he was going to be ready to play today, but for a guy that has played about 80% of the snaps here up front, as important as anybody for the Colts.
We have a player down on the field and appears to be Rock Ya-Sin, the cornerback.
And the Colts, look, they're already thin because Xavier Rhodes, he's not playing because of a hamstring, and so they've kind of had a rotation there, a cornerback between Rhodes, Ya-Sin, and Isaiah Rodgers. Of course, Kenny Moore is the one constant. But coming into this game a little bit thin, and now Ya-Sin coming out of the game
with a limp. Ya-Sin, his 3rd season out of Temple University. So he'll make his way slowly to the sideline as Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars contemplate a 2nd and 11 headed up by interim head coach Darrell Bevell.
And that's really going to affect their sub package because you still have Kenny Moore and Isaiah Rodgers on the outside, but you know how the Colts counter with their extra defensive back when the Jaguars go in their 3-receiver package.
Here's 2nd and 11. This is Ogunbowale. And out to about the 44-yard line. which will leave them about a third and right around 5 yards or so.
It's really important for Trevor Lawrence in this game that, the Colts are going to play a lot of zone coverage. I think number one, first and foremost, the Colts' plan in this game is, look, they want to be aggressive and they want to challenge the Jaguars, but they don't want to give up anything deep, right? So expect a lot of zone. Expect Lawrence, to have to be patient, get the ball out of his hands, dump it off, and put together some long drives down the field.
So here's Lawrence, converted at 1/3 down previously, and here he is at 3rd and 5, and then we have a whistle. And Laquan Treadwell may have started early.
Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So back that up. And the line of scrimmage is now the 39-yard line. This Jacksonville team has just 1 touchdown on opening drives all season long.
It has been a tough season to get any sort of rhythm and any sort of consistency on offense.
On 3rd and 10. Pass to the side. That is complete and across midfield, and out of bounds is Marvin Jones for the first down.
It's all about leverage. I love how Jones, who's inside working against Kenny Moore, he's going to establish and get the outside shoulder in outside position. He's going to work away from the inside leverage of Moore and Lawrence. He's a good athlete. He just kind of slides to his left, sees the separation, and what do you know? 2 third downs on the opening drive, and Lawrence really makes a nice play.
They needed 10, they got 12, and now into Indianapolis territory on the play fake. Lawrence throwing, got his man wide open inside the 35-yard line. Once again, Marvin Jones for the first down.
This time the Colts are going back to their zone coverage. You see it's a nice clean pocket, and Jones is able to just sit inside there, work right behind Kenny Moore, who is the inside defender on that play. And one more time, again, really a sharp opening, crisp drive for the Jaguars. And if you're Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator here for the Colts, this is not how you want to see your defense start the game.
They'll give it to Ogunbowale, and he will get a few to about the 32-yard line. That secondary of the Colts is also missing Andrew Sendejo. And Andrew Sendejo, the only member of the Colts on the COVID list as we hit week 18. And there is a player down on the field, and that's Ben Barch. Ben Barch, number 78, the right guard. They'll look at him. We'll take a break with 10:06 to play in the first quarter. That gentleman is side judge Joe Larrew, and today marks his final game. He's been an NFL official for 20 years, began his career back in 2002, and we certainly wish Joe the very best of luck as he's pointing our camera off the field. Good luck, Joe. On 2nd and 9, Lawrence. Good time, short pop over the middle. That's complete. And to about the 25, just inside the 25 is Ogunbowale, and we go down to AJ.
Greg, we saw Colts corner Rock Yassin go down earlier in this quarter. Team doctors were tending to his left ankle from what I observed. Officially, he has an ankle injury and a hip injury. He was carted off to the locker room. Obviously a big loss for the secondary. As Adam mentioned, they've been rotating a lot at that corner position.
Yeah, AJ, thank you very much.
And they have gone to Anthony Chesley at the replacement corner, who was, just called up and to be available and to play in this game. So certainly thin. If I was Jacksonville, I'd start going to my 3 receiver sets.
3rd and 1. That flip is for a first down and more. Laviska Shenault is knocked out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Now they'll put it at the 9. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, you have a blitz coming off the edge, and so most likely Okereke has to get over and take Shenault coming out of the backfield. So this is man-to-man coverage, and really a nice job of Trevor Lawrence spotting Kari Willis coming off of the edge, expecting Jacksonville to run the football, and then they sneak out Chenault, and another third down pickup here on this drive for Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence 6 for 6 throwing the ball so far. On first and goal, play fake. Under pressure, he throws near side. That is complete inside the 5 and down to the 2. Goes Jacob Hollister, the fourth-year tight end out of Wyoming.
Well, Greg, we mentioned, coming into this game, the Colts, and really what you're looking for to get into the playoffs. Last week felt like you had an opportunity to kind of finish it against the Raiders, stub your toe in that game, and really what you're looking for against Jacksonville, its struggles are well documented, is to come out again and dominate in all phases from the opening snap. And really it's been Jacksonville shoving the ball right down the Colts' throat.
This is second and goal. Lawrence going to throw for it again, and it is a touchdown. Laquan Treadwell. Trevor Lawrence, 8 for 8. Throwing the ball on this drive.
But really nice design. They're going to motion Treadwell inside. They're going to hide him a little bit, and then they're going to bring him right back to the flat. So Jacksonville is expecting man-to-man coverage. They're going to motion to create just a natural little pick that makes it really tough to Kenny Moore to get over the top, and another precise throw from Trevor Lawrence. Really well done, and what a start. 12 plays, 75 yards, and this is another disaster happening for the Colts. Kenny Moore, really the best player in that secondary, now is on the ground.
Still on the turf at the goal line. They will look after him. We'll take a break. 7:48 to play in the first, and Jacksonville has the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. And by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks.
Well, Jaguars have won each of the last 5 meetings with the Colts here in Jacksonville. That goes back to 2015. Their home win streak actually 6 since the Jaguars were the home team when these teams played in London back in 2016. Kenny Moore jogged off the field. And the extra point taken by Jacksonville is good. 7:48 to play in the first quarter. Jaguars with the early lead, and we're back in 30 seconds after this from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm. What's good?
Oh, Patrick?
Nah, fam. Just your typical sneakerhead working here for the employee discount. But speaking of deals, I heard regular guys like me are getting the Patrick price. That can't be real, right?
Listen, State Farm offers rates that fit any budget. Even yours, typical sneakerhead.
Wow. Just anyone now?
Yeah.
Man, these just sold out then.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Welcome back, everyone. Early lead goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are right in the thick of everything again as far as the NFL draft. They secure the first pick again with a loss or a tie today, or if the Detroit Lions win, the Lions are trailing Green Bay at the moment. It'd be nice that first pick. You're coming off of a bad season. Obviously, boy, you get your choice of anybody you want.
I think you'd rather
have a better season.
Have the 31st pick, maybe 30th pick. I don't know. Just call me crazy.
I understand.
Back-to-back first picks, not usually a very good sign.
Isaiah Rodgers deep. And will run this one out from the yard deep in the end zone. Rodgers, running room to the left side, doesn't bring it to the outside, and now he does. And still on his feet and across the 40-yard line. Fine return by Isaiah Rodgers. And here comes Carson Wentz. Boy, Carson Talk about a guy who takes care of the football. 6 interceptions in 487 passing attempts this season.
Really, he's been a really nice complementary piece to the run game. He is, when the play action game is on, this offense goes to another level. Last week wasn't his best game. He doesn't think not practicing affected him much. Not happy with that game, but they really need to get the passing game tuned up here against Jacksonville.
Fake it to Taylor, and the pass to this side is complete to Jack Doyle, the tight end, and he is out of bounds, close to midfield. Time for our first update of the day. We have a lot of them today. JB, Coach Bill Cowher.
Pittsburgh helping its own call.
Yeah, that opening drive inspired Pittsburgh right here to a 3-0 lead over Baltimore. Obviously, if Jacksonville loses, opens up the door for both, or if Jacksonville wins, opens up the door for Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Back to Greg Gumbel, Adam Archuleta, and A.J. Ross.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Look at the AFC playoff picture.
Under 5-4. Hey, Nelly.
From midfield.
Hey, Great.
Another fake to Taylor. Wentz running out of time and had it deflected incomplete. Dewan Smoot was in Wentz's face. An outstanding offensive line to protect Carson Wentz and block for Jonathan Taylor. Eric Fisher has missed a couple of games lately, but he is back on the field today. And they need to throw the ball well to free up Jonathan Taylor, if nothing else.
Yeah, and Michael Pittman Jr., 117 targets, almost doubled the next guy in Zach Pascal. It's also important to note they get Paris Campbell back this week. And if he's healthy and ready to go, he's the big speed guy that gives this offense the big play down the field.
Here's Taylor looking to pick his way through, dancing across the line of scrimmage. And to within 2 yards of a first down, Daniel Thomas making the stop.
Just his patience, the combination of all the physical gifts that he has, speed, power, balance, all that good stuff, the patience, and then doesn't matter if it's a defensive lineman in the hole, linebacker, 2 linebackers, all pro safeties. He's just going to make you miss. Really, there's not much that hasn't been said about Jonathan Taylor. He is a special back and really fun to watch.
3rd and 2. Wentz throws incomplete. Doyle, the intended receiver, appeared to be pretty well covered in the flat.
Really well played. They're expecting man coverage, and watch as both of the defensive backs, I think that's Nevin Lawson, how they're able to switch that off. Really well prepared, knowing what to expect, making a play, and I think the Colts need this right here. I think they really need this 4th and 2. After watching Jacksonville go down the field, they really need to try and punch this in and establish something on offense against this defense.
Jonathan Taylor not going to get there. Jacksonville's defense rises up, puts the clamps on the offense, and the ball goes over on downs. Adam Gotsis, the first to hit Taylor. Jacksonville, upset-minded here this afternoon. They score, and then they stop them on defense. Hey, the NFL playoffs are here. It all kicks off with Super Wild Card Weekend. Action gets started with a Saturday doubleheader, followed by a Sunday tripleheader. For the first time ever, a Wild Card Monday. 3 days, 6 games, 1 epic weekend. The road to Super Bowl 56 starts here. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans ecstatic with a 7-0 Jacksonville lead. Because they lose, Pittsburgh wins. It's all smiles in Steelerland. On first down, faking the pitch. Lawrence with all kinds of time and now throws to the side. This is Armstead, and Armstead pulls his way forward. How about Trevor Lawrence on that opening drive?
I would say it was a pretty nice start, especially when it came to 3rd downs. 3 of 3. On 3rd down, Marvin Jones was one of the key targets. It's Chenault coming out of the backfield, and then he caps it off with a nice little strike on the out route to Laquan Treadwell. And really, you got to love this start from Jacksonville, and on the other side of the ball, really concerning, I think, if you're Frank Reich, how you started this game.
Trevor Lawrence straight ahead for the first down. Lawrence, 9 out of 9, his best start in his young career to a game.
Well, good news for Colts that Kenny Moore is back on the field, which is great news. But they, went at him a little bit. He gave up 4 catches on that last drive, and he's been a tremendous player this year, a Pro Bowl player. Last week didn't have his best game either against the Raiders. Really kind of had a tough time with Hunter Renfrow, but still good to have him back on the field.
This is Armstead. Armstead wrapped up just as he hit the line of scrimmage by Khari Willis. We're talking about how thin the Colts are, and you hear people talking this time of the year about who's the best team. This team is the best, that team is the best. I think included in that conversation, you should talk about who's healthy and who's not, because that makes a world of difference.
Yeah, but, especially this year with COVID, and you don't know who's going to be up, and everybody's going up, they're going down, and health and all this stuff. I think one thing you can say about the Colts is that they are well coached, and they are always very well prepared. They're not a dominant football team, but if they get all of their phases to play together, they're a tough team to beat.
On 2nd and 9, Lawrence trying to get out of trouble. There's a penalty marker thrown behind him as he makes it to the 46. Kwity Paye makes the stop.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Right tackle Jawan Taylor guilty of the hold. I think that qualifies, don't you? That qualifies.
I would say that's a qualifying hold. Yes, sir.
Well, I know how discerning you can be.
Yeah, great. You have a great eye. Don't sell yourself short.
Especially when it comes to defending defensive players.
Hey, fair and balanced. You get that from me.
On 2nd and 19, Lawrence. Little flip to Armstead. And Armstead nowhere to go before he is dropped at about the 44-yard line. Taylor Stallworth making that play, and now it's 3rd and 18.
Well, certainly this is where you want to be if you're Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator. 3rd and 18, but you have given up 2 3rd and longs in this game. But, I had a chance to talk to him this week, and, he really liked where his defense is right now. They've really made some huge improvements since about week 5 of this season. And when you can take the ball away as much as you do, you're doing something right.
Lawrence complete to midfield. And to the 45 goes Ogunbowale. That will be well short of a 1st down. And here comes the punting unit for Jacksonville. One thing it appears, and I know it's early, Arch, but it appears that that offensive line is giving Trevor Lawrence some time to throw.
They are. And he's really, to give him a lot of credit, when he's been able to spot the first read, he's gotten the ball out, and then when it's not there, you really notice he's been able to find his check downs and his outlet receivers to pick up a few yards.
That ball bounces into the end zone for the touchback, and with 1:56 to play here in the first quarter, the Indianapolis Colts and Jonathan Taylor will retake the field. 7-0 Jags.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. And by Trulicity.
Last time the Colts beat the Jaguars here in Jacksonville, week 3 of the 2014 season. Andrew Luck, 4 TD passes as the Colts won 44-17.
We're good.
From their own 20-yard line, Jonathan Taylor can't really get started. About 1 yard on the play. Last 5 games here in Jacksonville, Indy 0-5, under 15.5 points per game. allowing more than 26.
That is really, really pretty amazing, especially when you consider that, in that span, Jacksonville really, hasn't been one of the best teams in the league, right? They've been one of the worst teams in the league, but there's something about this stadium that the Colts just can't find a way to establish any sort of rhythm.
Taylor again. And not much there again for Jonathan Taylor as the Jaguars gang up on him at the line of scrimmage. Time for an update once again. Let's get you back to New York, JP, and the coach.
And possibly his last game, a low light.
Yeah, and he want to have this one back. 1st and 10. Ben just throws it up there, intercepted by Geno Stone. I think, Adam, you could have caught that one. But Pittsburgh still leads 3-0.
Back to Greg Gumbel. I guess it's a compliment for Adam.
Oh, Adam could catch me.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, that was kind of a sneaky one, Coach.
And again, Pittsburgh very interested in this game as well. Here's a 3rd and 7. Wentz down the middle of the field. And the catch is made. Catch is made inside the 45 by T.Y. Hilton.
Well, first of all, I can't even believe that Carson Wentz threw this football. I thought there was absolutely no way how he's able to fit that ball over Damian Wilson right down the hash marks is really incredible. And T.Y. Hilton, he's not really the featured target of this offense anymore, but he has been clutch this season.
33 yards to end the first quarter. Jacksonville, the only one on the scoreboard, 7-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to picturesque TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville as we start the second quarter. First quarter last week against Las Vegas, the Colts managed just 10 total yards, 56 today, but 33 of them on that last pass to Hilton. Wentz inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. And that's Hilton once again.
And Greg, those are the throws that really Carson Wentz has to make. Now he's best on 1st and 2nd down, really working play action. When this offense is really working together in conjunction with that running game, that's really where he's good. Now, that was an excellent throw on 3rd down, but really what Frank Reich is looking for out of this passing game, again, when they have those opportunities down the field, when you only throw the ball about 25 times a game, it is essential that you hit those shots when they're there.
Jonathan Taylor on 2nd and 4, and he rambles to about the 35-yard line. It's about a yard short of a 1st down.
I think so far this first quarter, the thing that stands out is I think Jacksonville up front is really playing well. It's pretty well documented that the Colts offensive line is really good, but up front, I think right now the physical battle has been won by the 4 players up front for Jacksonville. Remember, on that 4th down, really had a nice stuff inside, and here the Colts are on 3rd and short. I would expect a pass to Taylor or somebody out of the backfield.
Give it to Taylor, and Taylor bounced back, and his forward progress is going to be short of the line to gain.
Well, such a good play, Gotsis. This is the 2nd time in a row. Watch 96. He's in the center of it all. He just gets rid of Glowinski, the right guard, and he was the guy that beat Mo Alley-Cox on that 4th and short earlier to get the Colts out of the field in a short yardage situation. And one more time, making a really nice stuff in short yardage.
And here are the Colts going forward again on 4th and 1. Taylor in the backfield. Taylor gets the handoff, and Taylor gets the 1st down to the 30. And pretty good room for him to move up front.
Especially right behind. This time they went to the right side, and take a look at Braden Smith. Look at his block on Damian Wilson. Really nicely done, and I just love how Taylor reads it. He sees the free safety, Daniel Thomas. He's the extra guy in the hole. but he reads that block by Braden Smith perfect, cuts it up inside, and picks up a much-needed first down.
First down, Indianapolis at the 30-yard line. Wins, rolling, gonna keep it. 25, 20, and slides down. Right at the first down marker at the 20-yard line.
Dewan Smoot, this is, you know, the Colts run this play so often where they bring the tight end behind the line of scrimmage and they just kind of block and seal off the defensive end. And that time Smoot thought that it was a run play, so he goes down inside to try and play that block, and there's nobody on the outside contained to pick up Carson Wentz.
So slow, steady progress by the Colts has brought them to the Jacksonville 20-yard line. First down. Taylor, no. It is the pass complete to Naheem Hines. And Hines, ball on the ground. Jacksonville says they have it. But not a single official agrees. It belongs to the Colts.
Boy, really fortunate. That was a heck of a play. I think it was the rookie safety, Andre Cisco. Watch 38 just kind of fly into the screen, coming off the left side. He's going to fly into the screen, and I couldn't quite tell. Was the left knee down before the ball came out? Kind of tough to tell exactly, but the Colts, fortunate, recover the ball anyways, but that could have been a huge play for Jacksonville.
So 2nd and 1 when all is said and done. Taylor to the outside and is pushed out of bounds. And they'll lose a few yards on the play.
You know, it doesn't look like much, but that is such a good play by Tyson Campbell. Such a good play. How many times do you see Taylor on the edge, on the cutback, one-on-one with a cornerback, and he just makes that guy miss, gets outside and breaks it for a big play, but really well done by Tyson Campbell to take the right angle and force Taylor to go out of bounds.
3rd and 3 now from the 13-yard line. Wentz under pressure and goes down. Josh Allen. He had 0 sacks since week 9 when he sacked Buffalo's Josh Allen.
And they're just going to work a little game inside where they're going to bring Allen, wrap him inside, and the Colts, that left side of that offensive line, they just can't handle the game. Eric Fisher is coming back after missing the last 2 games. He certainly had his struggles this season giving up pressure, but Jacksonville defense playing inspired football up front in this game.
Michael Badgley from 41 yards out is on the mark. And we have 9 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the first half. The Colts finally on the board. They still trail 7-3. Well, today we are celebrating, and it shouldn't be just us. It should be all around the league. The retirement of Dan Edwards, an original Jaguars executive who led this team's communications department beginning in the franchise's first season back in 1995. He'd spent the previous 10 seasons at the NFL at various spots prior to joining the Jaguars. Makes him one of the league's most tenured and respected team executives, as well as a good friend to us all. Congratulations, Dan Edwards. Jadon Mickens is deep and will not return this one, and we'll start at 25-yard line. Hey, follow the Dutton family west in the new epic Paramount Plus original series 1883. A Yellowstone origin story starring Academy Award nominee Sam Elliott, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. 1883, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
You like old westerns?
I do.
I do too.
I do.
Inspired by Tombstone, really in my early days. Classic movie.
With, what's his name?
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
Yes, sir. Val Kilmer. How can you forget Val Kilmer? Doc Holliday. I'll be your Huckleberry, Greg.
This is complete to the far side. And Marvin Jones with another catch. We get out to A.J.
Well, Greg, and speaking with Frank Reich earlier this week, he mentioned talking with Tony Dungy just a couple of days ago. He says Dungy is a football mentor of his. And when they were talking about how important this game was and, of course, the playoffs to follow, Dungy reminded him they have to just stick to playing with their game. Even when the stakes are high, they have to stick to their game. Pressure is what you feel when you don't know what you're doing, and you feel like you're over your head. So if they play their game, they should win out.
A.J., thank you. Trevor Lawrence with time, going to go deep down the far sideline. It is caught. No. Let's see. Do they rule it a catch? They do not.
Oh, that could have been delightful. That could have been just. Yeah, he can't survive the ground.
That is the first incompletion thrown today by Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it looked like he did kind of have it secured, but when you're falling to the ground, you got to survive the ground as that part of the catch, but that could have been a beauty of a catch by Laquan Treadwell.
3rd and 4. Lawrence over the middle, and the catch is made across the 40, across the 45. Almost to midfield goes Laviska Shenault for a first down. 18 yards.
Greg, the Colts were in a perfect defense. This is a kind of a robber look. And watch Khari Willis. He's going to come right here. And I thought this was going to be an interception. He sees it, and he just doesn't take the right angle. Kenny Moore is playing outside because he knows he has a safety inside for help, but just a perfect throw and another clutch catch on 3rd down.
So this is Raquel Armstead, and Armstead across midfield to the 47 of the Indianapolis Colts. We're talking about how thin the Colts are in the secondary. Rock Yassin is done for the day. He won't return with ankle and hip injury.
Well, and they keep, I kind of said it earlier, when they need a play, they keep really going inside and attacking Kenny Moore. And even though there's certain defenses where you have help inside, that's kind of been the place they've gone, and they've had a lot of success against the Pro Bowl corner.
We go blue 80. Listen.
He'll fake it to Armstead. And Lawrence is going to keep it, and it's run out of bounds at around the 45-yard line or so by Isaac Rochelle.
The one thing that really is, you look at this game, and of course looking forward, if the Colts do win this game and end up getting to the playoffs, even though the defense has started to play pretty well and they take the ball away, I'd like to see, and I really think the pass rush, especially from the outside, really is going to have to show up. That's one of the glaring weaknesses. Sometimes it's there, but as a consistent force putting pressure on quarterbacks, I think that's really what the Colts need to take their defense to the next level.
Lawrence pulls it down, looking for the first down. He dives, and looks like he might have it at the 40-yard line.
Well, nice points again. Inside twist, and there's a lot going on inside that pocket, but Lawrence wisely doesn't see like there's anything downfield, and instead of trying to force it, which you've seen him do at times this season, that's kind of the one thing that does stand out. He does have a tendency to throw it into coverage. That's where his interceptions come from. Really doing a nice job with his decision making. Gets up inside and picks up the first down.
First down just shy of the 40-yard line, and now we have a timeout called by Jacksonville. 5 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the first half. You're reading your TV right. It's 7-3 Jaguars.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Visa, a network giving small businesses tools to grow. Royal Caribbean, rise to the vacation. Come see. And by New from Papa John's. Try the New York-style pizza.
What better way to spend an afternoon, right? 5:33 to play in the first half.
You know, I've never done that, but I think I'd like to do it.
Ooh, I've never done it either. And I wish you a lot of luck.
Want to do it together next week? What are you doing next week?
Pardon?
Let's do it.
Not that. I'm
Come
not
on,
doing
man.
that next week.
It's 2022, man. Live a little. We've had a tough couple years, man.
First down for Lawrence and the Jaguars. Deep drop. Now throwing wide open in the middle of the field inside the 15-yard line is Marvin Jones. We'll take a moment for another update. Back to New York. JB, Coach Bill Cowher.
Hey, Greg, Tennessee knows what's at stake.
Yeah, number 1 seed right here. You see Ryan Tannehill find Anthony Thurston from 5 yards out on 3rd and goal. They take a 7-0 lead with a win. They secure number 1 seed in the AFC.
Hey, tell Adam what you meant by that interception.
Yeah, Adam, you're a better hitter than you were catching.
Hey, thanks, Coach. And you're a better football coach than you are a cornhole player.
28 yards on the pickup. From the 12-yard line. This is Ogunbowale. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard to the 11.
Greg, that's what in the business, we call that an inside joke.
Okay.
Yeah, we have history, cornhole history. Yes.
And I see you haven't forgotten it. So
no.
It must lean heavily to your side.
It leans. There's no doubt about it. I think I'd rather be a Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning football coach than cornhole champion, but
I'll go out on a limb.
You can only do what you can do, Greg.
2nd and 9.
Easy. Lucky.
Lawrence. This side of the field, that's complete inside the 5-yard line to about the 3, and that's Laviska Shenault. Close to, but not enough for a first down.
Greg, I got to tell you, how can you not be impressed so far in this game by Trevor Lawrence? His decision-making, his accuracy. He's 15 of 16 on 3rd downs today. Jacksonville is 5 of 6. He's run the ball 3 times. This is, arguably, the best start to a football game that we have seen from Trevor Lawrence, and this is a good defense he's going up against.
3rd and 2. Lawrence going to throw for it. Lots of time. Back to the end zone. Intended for Marvin Jones, incomplete. He was not inbounds with the catch. 4th and 2. What do you do? Or let me put it this way to you. Why wouldn't you go for it?
I don't know why you wouldn't go for it.
There you go.
But it looks as if
they're not going to go for it.
They're going to opt for the points, but I don't know. If it was Madden, I'd go for it.
Because there's so much at stake there.
Yes.
Matthew Wright. From 22 yards out. Kick on its way, and it is perfect. And we have 3:06 to play in the first half. There is no question. The Jacksonville Jaguars have been the dominant team so far. It's 10-3. The AFC playoff picture. Everybody to the right side of that picture is really happy about the score right now. Yep.
I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised. I really thought the Colts, because I think highly of this football team. They're not a perfect football team, but I really do think highly of them. And really, nothing against Jacksonville, but it's a 2-win football team that really is coming off a really bad loss last week. And I'm really surprised at how the Colts have been outplayed here in this first half.
Let's talk a look at that Jacksonville defense, particularly the run defense.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor has 8 carries for 18 yards. And to me, number one, I feel like Jacksonville up front is just outplaying this offensive line. I think it really comes down to that. They're more physical. They're making one-on-one plays. I mean, you see there's really nowhere for Jonathan Taylor. There is no operating room whatsoever up front, and I do believe it's because his offensive line, it's rare, but they are physically getting beat. And that's why you see the Colts in this kind of a hole, 7 points in the second quarter.
Wentz to throw. Under pressure. Escapes. And still on the move, and now he's been whistled down in the grasp. Josh Allen, the first to get him. Let's see if we can hear when the whistle blows.
Kind of a whole 7 points in the second quarter.
Wentz to throw. Under pressure. Escapes. And still on the move, and now he's been whistled down.
Yeah. A little surprised at that whistle, but I tell you what, you think Josh Allen would like to play against Eric Fisher every time? You know, he dominated in their first game. Really, that was the last time we've heard from Josh Allen, but he's having a game on that side once again against Eric Fisher.
Wentz on the move. Across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, Adam Gotsis with the stop. And it'll be third down.
You go back to that last time these two teams played, and Josh Allen had 9 pressures and 3 quarterback hits. And really, he's been on a drought here in the last 6 games or so. But once again, on fire against the Colts offensive line. Jacksonville on top 10-3.
Back in December, the Jaguars partnered with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to introduce their new Lights On initiative. Community-driven program that offers repair vouchers instead of tickets during traffic stops for broken lights and other mechanical issues. Good for them. 3rd and 12 for Carson Wentz and Indianapolis. Steps up, down the middle of the field. It is incomplete. Off the hands of Paris Campbell.
Once again, just attacking down the field, and Campbell again. That's high degree of difficulty. That is well covered, and that would have been one of the best catches that you've seen all season. But it's kind of the same story that we saw last week against the Raiders. A lot of 3rd and long. They didn't start off the game in sync whatsoever in the passing game. It wasn't really until a 2-minute situation where Wentz in their no huddle was able to get any type of rhythm into the offense. And really, it's almost the exact same start today against Jacksonville.
This is going to go against Jacksonville no matter how this winds up. The penalty marker is down. Jameer Jones slammed into Rigoberto Sanchez. Well, they're still discussing it on the far side of the field. If he got shoved, he was shoved by a teammate.
Running into the kicker, Jacksonville, number 40. Indianapolis has elected to enforce the 5-yard penalty at the previous spot and will replay 4th down.
You know, as they go into, or as they approach halftime, there are so many storylines to this game, Arch, without question. One of them is, with 1:42 to play in the first half, Jonathan Taylor, the leading rusher in the National Football League, has 18 yards.
That truly is amazing. And again, I think I really haven't said this much in the last 2 years. Probably have never said this, but the Colts offensive line is really getting outplayed, and really along that left side and up the middle is really where Jacksonville has been able to have a lot of success, and it just doesn't happen too often.
Now, this is a Jacksonville defense that ranks 25th in the NFL in rushing defense. Fair catch is made. A minute 35 to play. TIAA Bank Field has not been friendly to the Colts. It isn't so far today. Okay, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and the coach. Scores and highlights. Playoff talk, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Jonathan Taylor, Week 6 against Houston, had 6 rushing yards in the first half. He finished with 145. And then against Baltimore, he had 10 rushing yards in the first half. He finished with 53.
No, look, at any moment, you know, the Colts are able to break this game open, but they've got to play better up front.
Lawrence completes it. Across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. That's Chenault.
And here's the thing on the other side, when you look at the Colts defense, third downs has really been the one that stands out. But have you heard anybody, or have we seen anybody just make a play? You know, either up front, get to the quarterback, or making a play on the football in the passing game.
This is Ogunbowale, close to midfield, before he's brought to a stop. He marked down at the 49-yard line, but that is another first down for Jacksonville.
It's been more of a pass-first offense today, and Ogunbowale really hasn't had a lot, but has really a nice jump cut and reads his lineman perfectly.
Lawrence stepping up, going to run. Inside the 45 to about the 43, maybe the 42.5-yard line, where DeForest Buckner makes the stop. Clock continues to move.
Well, once again, Lawrence is just making all the right choices, all the right decisions. Good pressure coming from the outside, and the Colts, they leave the inside open, and he just takes it for 9 yards.
On 2nd and 1, that pass is incomplete.
So now here's you notice that last play. You see the speed and everything starting to speed up for Lawrence. 38 seconds left. I'm sure in his mind, you know, he feels like they're driving the football. Really wants to be able to get to the end zone and finish off this first half on a high note. But you just got to remember, just settle down. Don't force it. Just play the same game that you've been playing in the entire first half. And on 3rd down especially, just do what you've been doing. This time they put the formation into the boundary. There's a lot of field over here to work with.
And he throws it incomplete. Penalty marker's thrown. Intended receiver was Luke Farrell, and Kari Willis was covering. And it looks like Kari Willis is the one who draws the flag.
Pass interference. Defense, number 37. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Well, that could ultimately be a huge, huge play.
Well, unless it happened before that, it looked like, you know, it looks to me, quite honestly, like Willis, he turns around, he's trying to play the football in kind of the arm bar. Unless something happened before that, I don't really feel like that should have been called, Greg.
On the slant, that's complete to the 10-yard line is Laquan Treadwell. Time for a quick update. Once again, JB, Coach Bill Cowell.
Tennessee is not playing.
Ryan Tannehill to A.J. Brown from 14 yards out, and now Tennessee has a 14-0 lead over Houston. Again, a win here secures #1 seed.
They want everything to come through Nashville. Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. Meanwhile, first down for Jacksonville. They have used their 2nd timeout here in the first half. Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. All the guys in New York with all the scores and all the highlights and all the scenarios coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
Greg, you see that Tennessee game. That's what getting ready for the playoffs look like, right? You got a team in the Texans certainly capable. You know, Texans beat them earlier this season, right? But again, you fancy yourself as a playoff team, and you have thoughts of winning a championship. This is not the way you wanted to start out the first half if you're the Colts.
Lawrence, end zone, incomplete. Penalty marker thrown again. Marvin Jones being covered by Anthony Chesley.
Pass interference. Offense, number 11.
Comes this way.
10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
I'll take that call. I think that's a pretty good call. That's pretty Greg.
Hard to argue that.
Yeah, you can see they're going at Chesley, and that's probably a pretty good idea. You got a 10-year vet, and you got a backup corner on the outside. Go right at him.
1st and 20, pass to the outside, and inside the 10-yard line goes Chenault. And out of bounds to stop the clock with 21 seconds to play. The Jaguars with 1 timeout remaining. Lawrence hit at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Well, that could have been the break that the Colts needed, desperately needed. Really a well-timed jump inside by Grover Stewart, and is that Khari Willis? It looks like Khari Willis was just a few feet short of being able to make a big play and stop the momentum here. This is such a huge play for the Colts defense. Going in before halftime, 3rd and 8, you have got to make a play. You cannot let Jacksonville in the end zone.
Lawrence throwing to about the 3, to the 2, knocked out of bounds. Does he have enough for the 1st and goal? That's Treadwell. It's a 1st down.
All starts up front on 3rd down. The pocket almost all game has been clean for Trevor Lawrence. And that's a place where he really struggled last week against New England. 3 interceptions when he had a clean pocket. But today, the Colts have not been able to get close. And Greg, when they have gotten some pressure, Lawrence has been able to scramble and pick up some positive yardage.
So here's the deal. 1st and goal. And 8 seconds on the clock.
Well, no timeouts, so most likely you cannot run a run play, right? Because you're just not going to be able to snap it and spike it. And so this close, depending on the speed of your plays, you're going to get 2 plays. Depending on which plays you pick, it's possible you might be able to get 3 plays. You'll have a choice either to, on the last play, either to kick the field goal or, go for it one more time for the touchdown. But you should have 2 shots at the end zone. It has to be quick. And most likely, I would think that you're probably going to target outside the numbers on a low trajectory pass.
So defense knows that, knows it has to be short. Do you start to cheat on pass coverage?
So they just added 2 more seconds. So you still, you got 2 plays most likely, and then, certainly you cannot take a sack. You got 2 plays most likely, and then you're going to have maybe an option to kick the field goal or go for it on the 3rd play if you get the ball out quick.
1st and goal. Quick pass. Incomplete.
Yeah, there's that low trajectory pass, so it only takes off 3 seconds off of the clock. It's dangerous in this part of the field to throw over the middle because the ball can get batted, a lot of traffic in there. Play action shouldn't be much of a factor because if you're the Colts, you can't run the football, so you're certainly not going to buy it on play action, but look for the Jaguars to maybe bring somebody behind the line of scrimmage and get Lawrence outside the pocket.
Lawrence pulls it down and throws, and it is incomplete at the goal line. Chenault, the intended receiver, 2 seconds on the clock, and here comes the field goal unit.
It looked like he just tried to reach the ball over the line too quickly. Look, he catches it, and then it looks like he's trying to get it over, and as he's trying to reach for it, instead of securing it, the ball slips out of his hands. So here you go. You had your 2 plays, and now the option to go for it or kick the field goal. And I like, obviously, the right choice. Get the points before halftime and try to go up by 10.
Right, good from 22 yards earlier. And that one from 20 is good as time expires. This will turn a few heads around the National Football League. It is the end of the first half with the score. Jacksonville 13 and Indianapolis 3. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. You back to Jacksonville, Florida, where at halftime the Jaguars are leading the Indianapolis Colts 13-3. We have said it from the top of the day that the Indianapolis Colts need a win or a tie here in order to make it into the postseason. That isn't happening, at least right now. I will ask you what I asked you when we had a break. What's happening here and why?
Well, I already mentioned it in the first half. It starts up front that Jacksonville is outplaying the Colts offensive line up front. Greg, that leads to Taylor with 8 carries for 18 yards, which means they don't have good early down production, a lot of 3rd and longs, and they're 1 for 5 on 3rd down. So that means you only have run 19 offensive plays in the first half, and you have no rhythm to your offense whatsoever. On the defensive side of the ball, simply you just haven't made any plays. You haven't made plays up front, and you haven't made any plays on the football. And not to mention Trevor Lawrence playing the best first half of the season that he's played.
This is the Trevor Lawrence that fans have expected coming out of Clemson. That's not always realistic just because you are the #1 overall pick. Indianapolis gets the football first to start the second half. And it has been certainly an eye-opening event here, not just in Jacksonville, but around the league and all those teams that are very interested in what the Colts do here today. Isaiah Rodgers deep. Rodgers at the goal line. And the ball is loose.
Oh, boy.
And the Indianapolis Colts have made the recovery. What's going on, AJ?
Greg, Jags coach Darrell Bevell told his guys quite simply, come out here, have a good time, and play for each other. And that's exactly what they did in that first half. In particular, he told Trevor Lawrence, this is a first audition for next season. And after throwing for 200-plus yards in the first half, Trevor impressed. Meanwhile, Indy coach Frank Reich said they are not executing enough on offense or on defense. They have to get more pressure on Trevor Lawrence, and they have to limit explosives, guys.
AJ, thank you. How's this for Jacksonville? The average time they've spent leading in a game in their first 16 games, under 7 minutes, 6:44 to be exact. Today, they've been in the lead for 22 minutes and 48 seconds.
Wow.
Taylor bouncing off tacklers and out to about the 25-yard line.
Greg, first down is really something to look at. And coming into this game, Taylor averaged over 6 yards per carry on first down. That sets the table for everything the Colts do on offense. It's one of the things that last week Frank Reich really didn't feel like they had good enough production on early downs against the Raiders, which led to their struggles on third down. So the formula on getting production on first down has to be the main priority here in the second half for the Colts.
The pitch for Taylor. Dodges one tackler and is out of bounds, but short of the first down. So with the lack of production so far by Jonathan Taylor, that put more heat on Carson Wentz and his passing game.
Well, it's tough when you're in 3rd and 7+, when you're in 3rd and 10+. Percentages say that you're not going to have a pretty successful day on third down. Not to mention, really hard to keep a defense off balance. This Colts offense is predicated off running the football, mixing in the play action, really keeping the defense off balance and sustaining drives that haven't been able to do that. So third down, they're 1 for 5 so far today. Here they are, they've got to execute in 3rd and short.
Wentz will throw for it. Taylor with the catch and the first down and yardage up the sideline before he goes out of bounds.
This is a really good play outside. This is a pick play by T.Y. Hilton. As Jonathan Taylor comes outside, you're going to see T.Y. Hilton just get in the way and not really make contact. If he makes contact here, it's going to be a penalty. But he just gets in the way of the defensive player, and now Taylor has access to the outside. Now the Colts first half, they really haven't had any success inside in their running game. I would look for them to maybe start to attack the perimeter, a place that Jaguars really struggled last week against the New England Patriots.
From the 38. Under pressure and going down. And the ball back inside the 25-yard line and recovered by Jacksonville. Devon Hamilton recovered the loose football. Damian Wilson administered the hit.
It's just a mix-up on this right side. Braden Smith just doesn't pick up Wilson on time. So he's coming down off the play action, doesn't react to the outside in time. And now Damian Wilson, he is free hitter at the quarterback. And Carson Wentz doesn't have a chance. So once again, another mix-up up front. Just really can't say this enough. This offensive line that has been so good and has been really the heart and soul of this football team really has not come to play, and it's been across the board.
Hard to imagine what you just saw there. Only the second time this season.
Ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. That play is now under further review.
So they'll take a look at it. If it stands, only the second time is takeaway via the fumble for Jacksonville. This is a huge call upcoming. Well, they've taken a look. Referee Clay Martin is about to give us the verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field does stand as called. First down, Jacksonville.
Gene Steratore with us. Gene, you saw it a little bit differently.
Yeah, I did a little, Greg. Even though this is an unconventional motion by Carson Wentz, all we really need is forward movement with control of the football by a quarterback to start that forward pass. In my opinion, again, although this is non-traditional, I felt like Carson Wentz's arm was moving forward right before being dislodged, and I would have ruled that incomplete.
Gene, if you have a chance, stick around, because I do have a follow-up question after this play.
For sure, Adam. Meanwhile, 23-yard line for the Jacksonville offense, and Lawrence to throw to this side and off the fingertips of Ogunbowale. Go ahead.
So, Gene, here's my question. We all assumed that Wentz was going to try and throw the ball away, but now we're judging intent, right? Because he could have easily, been trying to just run with the football and taking both hands off the ball. Am I correct? But the unconventional aspect of it really kind of makes it a judgment.
100%, Adam. I mean, at some point that play will come into more judgment than the traditional standing up forward motion of a quarterback. But when you see him seeking or looking forward, there is some intent. In my opinion, I felt like he was attempting to release the ball forward, but there is judgment there for sure.
Gino, thanks so much. 2nd and 10. And this is Ogunbowale, and he is dragged down at about the 21-yard line. Tackle is made by Al-Quadin Muhammad.
I don't know if I've ever really seen a play like that before, because it really makes it kind of different, because he's separating both hands off the ball, and clearly looks like he was trying to throw it, but again, slow motion, you're trying to judge intent.
You don't practice those. You're in trouble when you're improvising.
Yeah, really a gray area. But
meanwhile, Jacksonville wants to capitalize on this opportunity. They have a 3rd and 8 from the 21.
Lucky, we go good. It's on touch.
Lawrence under pressure, throws complete to about the 15 and dropped. And it is incomplete. Chenault had it, made a move. Not enough of a move to call it possession, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, really. I thought if he controlled it right when the first time that his hands touched the ball, and he was able to secure it and control it, I would have thought that was enough of a move, but never did have control of the football. And really a nice job by that Colts defense, put in a tough spot to really force Jaguars to kick the field goal instead of giving up a touchdown.
Matthew Wright has been good from 22 and from 20. This one from 39. And it's good. 11 minutes, 32 seconds to play in the third quarter. Jacksonville adds to its lead, 16-3. A pretty pictures founded in 1565, visited by some 2 million tourists each year. Historic downtown St. Augustine, just a short drive south of us here in Jacksonville. Meanwhile, these Jaguars playing loose and free with that first pick in the upcoming NFL draft. A loss or a tie today, or a Lions win. Detroit is beating Green Bay 24-13.
You want to win, but you really want that first pick at this point in the season.
Players want to win.
Yeah, but first pick is really valuable.
Isaiah Rodgers will not return this one. Hey, just when you thought football couldn't get any more fun, here comes Nickelodeon with an NFL wildcard game you can't miss. You just can't experience football like this anywhere else. Check out the NFL wildcard game on Nickelodeon next Sunday, 4:30 Eastern Time. It will be wilder than ever, complete with this stuff and that stuff. And even my partner, Adam Archuleta, isn't slime-proof.
I am so glad that isn't real.
You will need to shower before you get on your plane.
Yes, my apologies, Greg, that some splashed on your outfit.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. That's pretty funny.
First down, Colts, their own 25. Trying to generate something that looks like an offense. Wentz to throw. Broken up. Just across the 30-yard line, Nevin Lawson with the defensive play, 2nd and 10.
Well, not just up front, but these defensive backs. That's the second time we've seen Nevin Lawson involved in a pass breakup in this game when they have attacked. So, once again, Frank Reich is just really struggling to find the right play call and the right combination on first down. Running the football hasn't been that effective. This time they go to throw it on first down. And once again, 2nd and long. That's been really the thing that stands out in this game, is the lack of early down production of the Colts.
This is Taylor. Left side. And out of bounds, short of the first down. Update time once again in New York City. James Brown, Bill Cowher.
Hey, Greg, Baltimore's playoff hopes alive.
Speaking of lacking, Adam, they lacked run support, which you were very good at. This is 46-yard by Latavius Murray, and Baltimore takes a 10-3 lead. Now I'm giving you a compliment because you would have stopped that run.
See what happens. I appreciate that, Coach. You know, Coach coached me in the Senior Bowl, so we got a little history. All the way back in 2001.
So it's beyond cornhole.
It's beyond,
okay.
Yeah. A lot of respect, though.
3rd and 2. Taylor not going to get there. No, he bounces free. Has the first down and more. Midfield, 45 and out of bounds. They had him, and they let him get away.
Well, this is why, you know, he's stuffed. Jihad Ward has a chance to stuff him in the backfield. He gets secondary support from Shaquille Griffin, but just the power, the balance, and that's why he's the best running back in football right now. Unbelievable effort outside by Jonathan Taylor, and that right there could be the spark, really. The Colts looking for a shot of energy, looking for a jolt for their offense. Carson Wentz is hoping that run on 3rd down was that for the Colts.
Nyheim Hines in the backfield right now. Hines with the football. And we have a penalty marker down as he is brought up at the 41-yard line. Let's check the flag.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Tight end Jack Doyle. Football's iconic show Inside the NFL, streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount+. How's this, Arch? Since 2012, the last game of the season, the Colts are the best in the National Football League with an 8-1 record. On the last day of the season, Jacksonville 1-8.
It's a pretty good stat. Yeah. It's pretty relevant in this game, right?
I would think. It's being the last game and all.
Yeah, just as you think they're getting something going, and the holding call puts them in 1st and 20.
the side of the field. Nyheim Hines, the intended receiver. When it comes to win and in, Indianapolis over Tennessee. Jacksonville.
Oh boy, they got a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of football left to play in this game, but geez, they've got to somehow capture and get their offense. Again, they had a chance, big play in the run game, had a chance to really get something going, and then holding it at second long.
Wentz tripped up. Miles Jack got to him before he could get started.
Well, really, this is a quick decision by Carson Wentz. You notice 4 receivers. Everybody is spread out. And it's a little play action, but really the Jacksonville doing a nice job on the back end of playing deep. No clear alley to throw the football to, and Miles Jack is able to reroute his rush and get to Wentz as he scoots up in the pocket.
3rd and 19. Wentz over the middle and through the hands of his intended receiver and intercepted. Picked off by Daniel Thomas. For the first time this season, Carson Wentz has thrown an interception on the road. Couldn't come at a worse time. Just a personal note, we marked the final game today for one of our longtime truck engineers, Dave Raines. Dave began his television career in 1972 at the New Hampshire Public TV station. Later joined the CBS family in the late 90s when we reacquired broadcast rights to the NFL. Since then, always considered the people at CBS to be his second family. We are proud to be that, and we're certainly going to miss Dave. And of course, we wish him all the best. Good dude, Dave.
A long time.
So with 8:29 to play in the 3rd, Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville offense take over. It has been tough going for Carson Wentz and that Indianapolis offense today.
Boy, hasn't it? And they had a chance because Pittman was open on that 3rd down, and all right, Wentz put a lot of hot sauce on that football, but just a little bit high and behind. This really would have been a tough catch for Michael Pittman to make, but that play was there.
By the way, Carson Wentz now still has not thrown an interception on the road this season.
Yeah.
Kind of pretty unbelievable in itself.
And that's pretty good. Well, it's one of the reasons why, they're in a position to be a playoff football team is the way they've been able to take care of the football, and their defense, who have been taking away the football, who have really been able to live off that this season. They don't have any of this game.
Hogan Bawali. Nowhere to go. Update time once again. Back to New York City. James Brown, Bill Cowher.
Houston has played determined football all season.
Yeah, watch this flea flicker. Back to David Mills, and Davis Mills, he'll find Chris Moore from 28 yards out. Houston still fighting, down 21-7 to Tennessee.
All right, Greg, I think Adam and Bill are back on par with each other.
Oh, I love Coach. I just feel like he took a jab at me. That's all. He's earned it, though.
Let's go, Ringo!
On 2nd and 10, Lawrence throw. Incomplete. Through the hands of Hogan Bawali. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, pressure. You saw Kwity Paye, who had a pretty good, that's the first rounder who had a pretty good game last week, is starting to come on, but mentioned earlier in the game, really, that you have DeForest Buckner. He leads the Colts in sacks. He has 7 sacks. Kamoko Toure is second with 5.5 sacks, but, getting that consistent edge pressure edge pressure is vital for this defense. And I think their lack of consistent edge pressure is one of the reasons why they haven't been able to close out those games in the fourth quarter.
Here comes the blitz. The pass is complete. That's going nowhere because Jacob Hollister is wrapped up at about the 20-yard line by Bobby Okereke. And it'll be 4th and 9.
Well, really a nice job. 4-man rush up front. Everybody's going to drop back in zone. You just got to be disciplined. We're going to bring a delayed Kari Willis up the middle, but really nice discipline by the Colts. Sit back in coverage, make Lawrence dump it off underneath, and Darius Leonard is fired up. They did their job, got off the field. Now the offense has got to try and figure it out.
Naheem Hines going to let it bounce, and it rolls out of bounds. Somewhere around the 30-yard line, maybe a little deeper than that. We have 6:59 to play. In the third quarter, Jacksonville's lead is 16-3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Taco Bell and by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
After scoring 5 touchdowns against the Bills back in Week 11, Jonathan Taylor won the Nickelodeon Valuable Player Award, weekly honor given to the league's best performer as voted on by the kids. JT today with 38 yards in the third quarter. They're going to need more from that for him as they try to dig out the hole. Wentz pulls it down once, now throws, intercepted! Damian Wilson with the interception. There is the first road pick of Carson Wentz this season.
Keep an eye on Damian Wilson. You see Carson Wentz, he's going to double clutch it a little bit. Kind of hesitates at the beginning, but Wilson is just going to undercut this route to the outside. And I think it's just a little bit of hesitation. A really nice job of recognition, but Wentz doesn't even account for Damian Wilson whatsoever. Throws it right to him. Really a poor throw and a poor decision. And when you look at this passing game, Greg, really not there today. They've only completed or tried 3 passes over 10 yards, completed one of those passes. Just haven't been able to get it going.
Armstead, left side, 30, 25, inside the 20-yard line. Right well, Armstead finally brought down by Isaiah Rodgers.
Here's a key block. Ben Barch, look at what he does, how he's able to get up and out-leverage Okereke to that side is really just incredible. There is really no reason why a backside lineman should be able to get all the way and wrap around and seal off that front side linebacker, but he does, and then Armstead takes advantage of the interception and gives the Jaguars a huge play on the ground.
26 yards all told. Lawrence throws, and that's complete. Inside the 15 to about the 12 goes Jacob Hollister.
I was just talking about, Carson Wentz in the passing game, that they've only completed 1 pass out of 3 passes, now 4 passes over 10 yards. And if you take a look at their passing tree, anything between 0 and 10 yards, he's only 1 for 4. So outside of, 3 or 4 passes behind the line of scrimmage, it's been an awful passing game today. And really, you would love, when your running game isn't working, you would love to be able to lean on that passing game to then open up the running game again.
Armstead pulls his way just inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3. Clock continues to move as we come up on 5 minutes to play in the third. It is now 1st and goal. Consider this franchise has been in such turmoil all season long.
Again, though, look, everybody knew talking to the Colts that you cannot take this team lightly. At least they said everything the right way in the media and in their interviews. But look, the margin for error is so small in the NFL. You don't come ready to play. It's anybody's game.
Armstead spins for about a yard. But they're even now they're going through coaching interviews for head coaching position.
Yeah.
So many people to be considered.
Well, two things that you're getting from Jacksonville in this game is consistency on defense. And Josh Allen talked about it. You know, they've had moments this year where they've made some good plays, but they just haven't been able to keep it going, right? To kind of capture that momentum and play consistently. They're getting that today in this game up front. And the other thing they're getting is consistent play from Trevor Lawrence. You know, his really, arguably, his best first half of the season has been today against the Colts defense.
And waited too late to get the snap. This is going to back the Jaguars up.
There's no foul for delay of game. Timeout. Jacksonville, their first. 30-second timeout.
So Jacksonville uses its first timeout here in the second half. You saw a shot there earlier. There he is, Trent Baalke, the general manager. There's been a lot of talk about him.
There's
fan unrest.
There's a lot of talk about everybody. It goes to show that, again, we started off this show by talking about all the optimism that was surrounding this franchise, the fresh start, Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer, still questions on whether or not he could coach at this level, but certainly had the college pedigree. How was that going to work out? And then just a complete unraveling in all phases, and they've really kind of hit rock bottom this season.
The pass inside the 5 is grabbed by Marvin Jones. And let's see where he will be marked down at about the 3-yard line. By the way, how's this for an indicator of how the game has gone? Jacksonville, 16 first downs to the Colts 6.
That's incredible. That is truly an incredible stat and an incredible number. And also, the takeaways and the turnovers really has kind of been flipped.
Third and goal, high snap. Lawrence pulled it down and throws to the end zone to Marvin Jones. Did he come down, feet in bounds? He did. That play began with bad news. Lawrence not only salvaged the football, but found Jones at the back of the end zone.
Wow, incredible. But this play, Greg, starts up front. Khari Willis has got to make this play. You've got to make it. You have a free shot at the quarterback, bad snap, and you take a bad angle, and that's the result. Talked all game about how you've got to make a play on defense, either up front or break up on that pass, and there was your chance, and you let the quarterback get out, and that's the end result. You've got to make that play in that situation, Greg.
The extra point is good. The Indianapolis Colts looking at their biggest deficit of this season. They trail 23-3. We're back in 30 seconds after this.
With Farmers Auto multi-policy discount, the more policies you have with us, the more you could save on your auto insurance.
Hey, hon. Hi, honey. Like what?
Well, you'd get a discount for insuring your jet skis and boat, RV, life, home, and more. You could save up to 45%.
That's a whole lot of discounts.
Well, we offer coverage for a whole lot of things, and you could save a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks.
What's up, Dad?
17-car garage you got there?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
So you got to figure a little reality might begin to seep in where the Indianapolis Colts are concerned. Sure, 3:08 to play here in the third, and there's an entire fourth quarter, but there are a lot of people who see this Colts team as a really dangerous team in the postseason, but they have been up and down all season long. They've hit some really high spots and some spots that they shouldn't have been in at all.
Well, you're right, but listen, we're talking about the playoffs, and I keep saying all game how you've got to make plays. Have you called DeForest Buckner's name once today? How about Darius Leonard, right? Kari Willis has a chance to make a play. As good as Kenny Moore.
Look at this return by Isaiah Rodgers. And Rodgers all the way out to about the 45-yard line. Hold that thought, Arch. The NFL playoffs are here. It all kicks off with Super Wildcard Weekend. Action gets underway with a Saturday doubleheader, followed by a Sunday tripleheader. The first time ever, a Wildcard Monday. 3 days, 6 games, 1 epic weekend. Road to the Super Bowl 56 starts here.
Oh, boy. A lot of teams. Pretty excited right now. Pretty unbelievable. But, Greg, I was saying, you know, as good as Kenny Moore has been this season, he's given up 7 catches and 2 touchdowns in this game. So, you know, your Pro Bowlers, Colts have a lot of Pro Bowlers on this team, and we haven't called their name once for anything good.
This is one of them, Taylor. And Taylor works his way inside the 45 to about the 42-yard line, and a first down for Indianapolis.
Well, finally on that left side, they get something going with Eric Fisher. He's able to get outside and push out Josh Allen. Get a really nice block by Quentin Nelson, but you've got to be able to time is right now. They've got a lot of fire into this offense.
Wentz decides not to throw it, pulls it down, goes down. Malcolm Brown in on the stop as we approach 2 minutes to play here in the third. Colts Nation not all that excited right now.
No, and look, same thing happened on that last drive where you have a big run by Taylor, and then you get a holding call on the play right after that play, and you're sitting in another second long. That time Wentz holds the ball way too long, takes the sack, and now another 2nd and 13.
He's been sacked 4 times today. That's the most this season. This is Taylor, and Taylor getting up a couple ahead of steam a couple of times in a row now. Damian Wilson, Jerod Ward with the stop at about the 36-yard line.
Well, at least at the minimum now you have a manageable third down. It still really hasn't made a difference. But, you know, for Carson Wentz, you know, really haven't played your best game today. And passing game really hasn't been there. Again, got a minute left in this third quarter. You got a lot of ground to make up. You've got to make some throws, and receivers have got to find a way to get open. This is a huge third down for Indy.
Wentz. Incomplete near side of the field. Intended for Paris Campbell. He overthrew him.
It was a bad play, and this is kind of the day it's been. You know, Quentin Nelson, right? We all know what kind of player he is. Doesn't get any better. He gets beat by Jerod Ward inside. Now, didn't really affect the play much. I'm sure Wentz kind of felt that presence on the inside, but that ball is way off the mark. It doesn't matter. In this game, what stands out is the best players, the Pro Bowlers, really haven't been able to step up and make plays. And right now on 4th and 5, somebody outside of Jonathan Taylor has to make a play for the Colts.
Wentz 0 for his last 5, throwing with an interception. Over the middle. That is complete inside the 30-yard line. That is Michael Pittman for a first down.
That's really a good catch, and that's what they needed. Pressure moment. 4th and 5. And tight coverage over the middle. Contact as soon as the catch is made. Really nice job by Lawson trying to get that ball out, but Pittman secures the catch to keep this drive going.
Last half minute of the third quarter. Wentz inside the 25, and again, Michael Pittman on the receiving end.
I mentioned how, and this probably isn't a really good sign here, Pittman is struggling to get off and kind of taps his helmet.
Well, he will take a break. They will look at him at the end of the third. Colts on the move, but still on the short end of the scoreboard. 23-3. Coming up next, Game 2 of our NFL on CBS season finale doubleheader. The playoff puzzle adds another piece when the Buccaneers take on the Panthers, as well as matchups in Miami and Buffalo, with the Patriots and Bills both still fighting for the top spot in the AFC East. Coming up next here on CBS. Other than that, not much happening today, Arch.
A pretty calm, mild day, right? Week. Nothing too exciting. You know, boring, meaningless games, right?
Nothing happening here at TIAA Bank.
Especially this game. This is as boring as it gets, right? Oh, man, this is something else.
Point differential?
Yeah.
Colts.
It's
minus 45. That's not good.
Yeah, you think about, that goes back to the blown leads that they've had, the 3 games where they had 10-point leads going into the fourth quarter. Really, why they find themselves in a win and in situation here, down 20 points against Jacksonville.
Colts have to take advantage of situations like this. This pass on the far side, that's incomplete. And the penalty marker is down. He did. Mo Alley Cox did get bumped by Shaquille Griffin.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, automatic. First down.
So first down here. Let's get you back to New York. JB and Coach.
Can Ben add another chapter to his book?
How about this? Tyler Huntley intercepted in the red zone by Cameron Sutton, keeping the Lopes alive. Baltimore wins, is leading 10-6. And Greg, I just love keeping Adam a little edgy.
I can't wait till I get to see Coach again. Love that.
Steelers clinch a wild card with a win and Indy loss.
One of my favorites.
First and goal. Wentz had to pull it down, and he goes down. DeJuan Smoot, 5th sack of the day for the Jaguars.
Well, looking for play action to his right, and then that's what gives Smoot a chance to work on this left side where, boy, this left side of the offensive line really has had a tough time. Trying to block him with Jack Doyle coming across the formation behind the line of scrimmage. And once again, this is Jacksonville front. Handed to them. They really haven't been able to generate much pressure in the last 4 or 5 games, 6 games. But today, easily handling this Colts offensive line.
Second and goal from the 18. Wentz throwing this side wide open. And the catch is made inside the 15-yard line by Zach Pascal.
Simple play to the flat, and it looks like inside the underneath flat defender never really saw Pascal, and he's wide open. But this is another big third down here for Carson Wentz. 3rd and goal. Certainly this is 4-down territory, but they really haven't been able to get anything going against the back 7 for Jacksonville. And again, the pressure up front, when he holds the football anything, right around 3 seconds, it's almost a sack.
Wentz rolling, looking, throwing, down to the goal line. The catch is made by Nyheim Hines. Let's see if he was inbounds or out of bounds at the 1 or 2 yard line they're talking about. Hines taking a look.
Oh, no. A question mark on whether or not he went out of bounds before he was the first to touch the football. And it's like he was just able to stay in bounds. Now we got a big, this 4th and 2. You see the hat come off?
Yeah.
So it appears that they believe that Hines went out of bounds here. But, that close-up look, when we saw it, looks, from the sideline look, it looks like maybe he went out of bounds.
The clock will start on my 6.
Well, here's a question. What do you got to do, right? 4th and 1, most important play of your season right here. You've been stuffed. You've got Jonathan Taylor, the best back in the league. You've got the offensive line who hasn't played well. You haven't had good short yardage success. I think you got to give it to Taylor, your best player.
Taylor. There is no touchdown signal. The Jaguars made the stand. Here in Jacksonville, TIAA Bank Field is full of some pretty happy Jaguars followers. 12:53 to play in the 4th. And the Jaguars leading the Colts 23-3. Jacksonville at its own 1 and straight ahead is Trevor Lawrence. Let's watch that defensive stand again.
Greg, to me, this play right here really is the microcosm of this game, is what it really comes down to. It's the strength of the Colts offensive line and their running game, the best offensive player in the NFL, and all game long, the battle has been won up front by the Jaguars. And a wise man once told me, Greg, I think that wise man was you. What do you say about 4th and 1 running the football? If you can't
get a yard, you don't deserve to win the game.
And that's really, quite honestly, really what that play comes down to.
Lawrence once again. And out to the 3-yard line. Let's get you back to New York. Once again, JB, Coach Bill Collins.
An indefatigable Houston squad.
First of all, Greg Gumbel, I cannot agree with you more, but watch right here, David Mills. He's made second touchdown of the day to Danny Amendola from 7 yards out, and a 2-point play to Danny Amendola. 18 straight points, and now all of a sudden Tennessee leads only 21-18.
I know it's about Tennessee, but give Houston big props. Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. I get a pat on the head from Bill Cowher. I think I can continue.
I can only aspire to be as impressive as a man as Bill Cowher, Greg.
3rd and 7. This is Armstead. And Armstead to about the 7-yard line, maybe the 6 only, but not nearly enough for a first down. And Jacksonville will kick it away.
It was a really tremendous first half offensively from Jacksonville, and really they really haven't done much here in the second half, but it's because of the strength of their defense, Greg, and something that I don't think has been said or seen from Jacksonville all season long. Complimentary football. How many times have they been able to match consistently all game? Stellar defense with offense, and that's why they sit here with a 20-point lead in the 4th quarter.
This is Nyheim Hines. Hines back across the 40, tripped up on his way on the return. And Nathan Cottrell with the tackle. Well, Frank Reich, the head coach of the Colts, knows all about making comebacks. 92 AFC wildcard game, Oilers, Bills, Buffalo trailed 35-3 in the 3rd. Frank Reich led an unbelievable rally, throwing 4 second-half TD passes to help send the game to overtime. Buffalo went on to win it by a score of 41-38, completing the biggest comebacks in NFL history.
Well, they're going to need some of that magic. Carson Wentz, and most likely they're going to have to, in somehow, some way, defensively force a turnover because, 3 scores, got a lot of work to do right here, and not a lot of time for an offense that really hasn't had an explosive element in the last 2 games.
Wentz, that's incomplete. At the 45-yard line, T.Y. Hilton couldn't make the grab. 2nd and 10.
And we talked about, or at least I've talked about, how impressed I am up front with how Jacksonville has played. Really their secondary as well. Almost every catch has been contested in some way. And even when Wentz has been able to complete the ball, there's been virtually no yards after the catch opportunities. It's been catch, hit, tackle. It's been a complete performance so far from front to back end for the Jacksonville defense.
On 2nd and 10, Wentz dragged down at the 41-yard line by Adam Gotsis, who has had a huge game today.
You're right. Not only this time they're going to blitz off of Wentz's left, and initially it's picked up pretty well, but again, there's just nothing open downfield. Nothing is open downfield. Wentz can't pull the trigger. He tries to get up inside the pocket, and then Gotsis is able to just fall inside and pick up the sack.
3rd and 12. Wentz throwing incomplete. Again, T.Y. Hilton closest to the pass.
Well, I don't think that really the Colts have any choice right here, because the fact that you're down by 3, 9 minutes left, possessions, it's really now or never.
This game is a perfect example. It speaks to the competitiveness of the game of football, because the Colts come in here with every reason to play their hearts out, while the Jaguars, 2-14, coaching change, turmoil much of the season.
Yeah.
And here they are leading 23-3. 4th and 12. Wentz going deep. The dive is made, and Paris Campbell, did he hold on to it? Incomplete.
Oh, man, that could have been it. It looked like this was a perfect ball by Carson Wentz on a gotta-have-it play, and Campbell, Greg, just can't seem to come down with this spectacular catch.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. AWS. AWS is how the NFL can stat that. And by Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Beautiful, beautiful day here in Jacksonville, Florida. The Jaguars in line for that first pick with a loss or a tie today, or a Detroit Lions win. Guess what? Detroit leading Green Bay 27-22. Right around 6.5 to play in the 4th quarter.
Boy, and Jacksonville fans may end up getting the best of both worlds, right?
Sure, that would work for them. Armstead.
I mean, really,
to about the 36.
With how the season has gone, right? The catastrophe of a season. You really can't finish on a better note. If you knock the Colts, another division opponent, out of the playoffs, and you're still able to secure the #1 pick in the draft, play your best game of the season, it's a nice, sweet feeling going into the offseason.
And I always feel bad for diehard fans. I think players appreciate the opposition's fans because there's so much in their opponent's corner.
No.
2nd and 5. This is Armstead. Armstead trying to turn the corner. Bumped out of bounds, and we got a flag.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was just going to say, this is where Darius Leonard has to get his patented punch at the football and try and get the football out, because you desperately need turnovers. And instead of that, just the extra push out of bounds, and it's been one of those days.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 53. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Let's get you back to a couple of guys we haven't heard much from today.
Hey, Craig, it's good to see Cleveland did not mail it in.
Oh, they didn't. Case Keenum's going to find Demetri Felton right there from 10 yards out. Cleveland leads 21-10 for Darius Leonard. It's called frustration.
Back to Greg, Adam, and AJ.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, a lot of frustration on that. Oh, can you imagine that plane ride back to Indianapolis?
Oh,
if this one ends up the way it's headed.
I got to be honest, I'm surprised, because I know that they lost last week, and you keep talking about the blown leads, and But I really felt like Colts were a tough team, a dangerous team, that if they were able to play and put all their three phases together, you know, not a dominant team by any stretch, Greg, but a team that would be a tough battle for anybody in the playoffs.
How about that run by right Quell Armstead? Down to AJ.
Well, Greg and Arch, I can tell you this Colts sideline is stunned, and you can see the disappointment and frustration on guys' faces. There was definitely a feel of deflation after that Jonathan Taylor stuff at the goal line. Meanwhile, the Jags fans right behind this Colts bench, they are going wild, and I can't repeat a lot of the things that they're saying, but they are making sure they rub in this score right now, for sure.
AJ, thanks.
Yeah.
Cover your ears, AJ.
Yeah. Well, talked about that last stop on the goal line, but the tone really was set early with the stuff on fourth down. And you know, Josh Allen, when we spoke to him, you know, that's really the biggest theme of what he said as he evaluated their defense was they would do something good, but then all of a sudden, a few plays later, you know, something bad would happen, and they'd give up a big play, and they just couldn't be able to string it together back to back to back. That was really the one thing that has been missing to their defense all season. Not today, right? It has been a complete, thorough football game from front end to back end, and the fact that they've held Indianapolis to 150 total yards, I mean, really, that is as dominant gets, and not to mention you throw in 5 sacks.
Jonathan Taylor has gotten that on his own a couple of times.
Lady!
2nd and 9. Ogunbowale inside the 20 before he's brought to his level. Before we go much further, I want to send our hellos and good wishes out to Mark Grant, our friend, who is usually our director, feeling under the weather today. And Steve Milton has come in to sit in for him, and we just want to tell Mark to feel better and get well. And we have a player down on the field, and for the second time today, that's Kenny Moore. They'll check him out. We'll take a break. .8:25 to play here in the fourth quarter, and they are still looking at Kenny Moore, who is still seated on the turf. And now he's up. Kenny Moore named to the Pro Bowl. There has been wear and tear on that Colt defense today.
Yeah. And again,
in no small part to the Jacksonville offense.
And again, really, it's just shocking. Again, you know, like the Pro Bowlers that the Colts have on their team, they've got a lot of Pro Bowlers. You know, Taylor's had a couple good runs, but he hasn't really had room. But really, what's shocking to me is collectively, none of the best players on this Colts team made any plays today, which is really just doesn't make a lot of sense.
On 3rd and 9, this is Ogunbowale, and he'll be brought up at about the 10-yard line, couple yards short of a first down. Back to New York, JB and Coach.
Hey, Bill, a first this season for Tennessee.
Yeah, how about Ryan Tannehill? 4 touchdown passes on the day. This one, the first, yes, Julio Jones as a Titan. There he is from 3 yards out, 28-18. Tennessee takes a 10-point lead. 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
Hey, I got an idea. How about injecting into the overall picture the fact that not only is that Tennessee team built up a little speed, but rumor is...
I know where you're going.
Oh, you betcha. There is a big running back that's due to make a reappearance for them.
Well, listen, Greg, you talked about injuries, right? Think about what Tennessee, like, before Derrick Henry gets hurt, you think he's their offense, right? MVP, there's no way, right? There's no way they can go out there and win. You've had multiple injuries and in and out of the lineup from Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, but they have figured out a way to find themselves playing for the #1 seed to represent the AFC. You can overcome injuries to your good players, Greg, and the Titans are a tremendous example of resilience and being able to find a way to win through adversity.
Matthew Wright has just kicked his 4th field goal of the day. Jacksonville's lead is 26-3 with 8:15 to play here in the 4th quarter. The AFC playoff picture looking like this. Tennessee goes on to win. They claim the overall top seed in the AFC. Indianapolis, they need so much help if they lose this football game.
And then Vegas and Chargers, right? So they're winning in of that game, and really comes down to Pittsburgh or Baltimore. But
as our producer Jonathan Siegel points out, if they tie, they are both.
Could be interesting strategy at the end of the game, right?
Depending on which side of the ledger you're on.
Yeah. But I really am shocked. I really expected the Colts to take care of business today. There was nothing really that told you that this result, 26-3, and really complete domination on both sides of the football. There's really nothing telling you that this was going to happen.
Fans and players alike speechless. Isaiah Rodgers will not run that out of the end zone. That Jacksonville defense, you have praised it, and it is well-deserved praise.
Yeah, they came out to play today, sacking Carson Wentz 5 times. Defensively, making plays on the football, taking it away, Damian Wilson. But really, it comes down, the tone setter for this game really comes down to the short yardage against the Colts offensive line. 3 times today in short yardage, including that huge play, the play of the game on the goal line, to me is the most impressive aspect of what Jacksonville has done on defense today.
Wentz to the sideline. Out of bounds is Jonathan Taylor. And if we see a running play, it will be a rarity here down the stretch.
And really, you know, the passing game now for the 2nd week in a row just hasn't been there. And really, that's kind of been a trend in their last 7 games. They've only averaged about 5.7 yards per drop back, and it's been kind of a combination. There's been some accuracy, there's been some missed opportunities, some inaccurate throws, and it's also been a lack of big plays.
That pass over the middle is complete across the 45 is Mo Alley Cox, the tight end.
And so, you know, the passing game was trending in the wrong direction. What's discouraging, and has to be for Frank Reich and the Colts, is that when they needed it most, last week against the Raiders, this week in this game, when you need to come together and make plays in the passing game, it was non-existent. That has to really stand out and really be a frustrating component when Frank Reich looks back on this tape.
Jonathan Taylor out of bounds at the 50-yard line once again. JB and coach.
And writing some more history.
Yeah, with what's happening down there, Pittsburgh all needs to win right here. Chase Claypool, 6 yards from Ben. A 4th quarter, 13-10 Pittsburgh lead. If they hold on and win without a tie tonight between the LA Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders, Pittsburgh's in the playoffs.
There you go, Greg. You set you up.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. This pass is complete to Michael Pittman, and Pittman has 1st down yardage. And the clock continues to move. And the Colts are going to have to operate with a little bit more urgency than what we're seeing right now.
Well, they just haven't been able to hit anything downfield. Everything has been underneath. They've had a couple chances, a couple shots to Paris Campbell, but he wasn't able to come down with it, and it's just been, everything has been underneath. And I think certainly going into this offseason, certainly Carson Wentz is going to be a big topic around Indianapolis. He's had some really good moments this year, but again, you know, you want your quarterback in these moments, you know, playoff moments, championship moments, end-of-game moments, is when he's got to come to play. And to be quite honest, it really hasn't happened.
That's complete inside the 20 to the 15 and close to the 10-yard line. And suddenly the Colts and Carson Wentz have discovered Michael Pittman here in the middle of the 4th quarter.
And really only Michael Pittman. And he's been one of the only consistent targets T.Y. Hilton isn't the focal point of the offense. As I mentioned earlier, he has made some pretty good catches. Paris Campbell has been hurt most of the season. He's your downfield field stretcher, but really hasn't had a lot of consistency at wide receiver outside of Pittman this season.
Wentz going to run it inside the 5, diving for the pylon, and he is going to be marked short. And we have a penalty marker down.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
That's the center, Ryan Kelly.
Yeah.
Talking about this, as you see the play here. And there's Kelly with the hold. Looking back on this season, the Colts lost an overtime game at Baltimore. They lost another overtime game to Tennessee. They've lost a couple of nail-biters.
Mm-hmm.
First and 20. Wentz completes it and diving inside the 15 to about the 12 is Mo Alley Cox, as Jacksonville content to give them stuff underneath.
Yeah, he just milked that clock. You're sitting here at, just under 5 minutes left to play, and again, it's been a tough game for the Colts offense.
Wentz throwing. Incomplete, intended for Hilton. And covered by Shaquille Griffin.
So this is, Jacksonville's defense has played the game that you would have wanted. If you're Matt Eberflus and Frank Reich, you would have wanted your defense to come out there and play like Jacksonville.
Dominate.
Fired up front. Get after the quarterback, and then contest every catch. Every single catch, contest it. Make these receivers work, and that's simply, you didn't see that from the Colts defense.
3rd and 11. That pass inside the 5 to the end zone goes Michael Pittman for the touchdown. "12-yard pass. Pittman with the catch inside the 5 and then dives to the end zone.
Yep, gets in before that knee goes down, and there's still life. He's still got a chance, but certainly hasn't been easy. Certainly no timeouts doesn't really help the Colts cause.
So the 2-point conversion attempt, Hines in the backfield along with Wentz. And Wentz throwing over the middle, and that is complete to Pittman once again. So the 2-point conversion is good, and you know what else is good? A visit once again to the NFL Today studios, JB.
As well as Houston is just admirable, Greg.
They will not stop. Davis Mills' 3rd touchdown of the day. 2nd here to Danny Amendola from 26 yards out. And now Tennessee leads 28-25. 3:40 to go in the 4th.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. Tennessee needs a win to clinch that #1 seed. We saw the Houston Texans not so long ago. They are very, very high on Davis Mills.
Yeah. And look at that. Detroit just takes the lead over Green Bay. So certainly a big deal for Jacksonville in their quest to get the #1 pick.
This could be a total holiday in the city of Jacksonville.
Yes, easily the best day of the year if they can hang on. Easily. But yeah, you're right, Greg. Davis Mills, we had him, last week against San Francisco. Didn't play his best against San Francisco, but boy, you like how he progressed down the stretch and really showed you that without there being really that guy, that quarterback in the draft, that he might have played his way into being the starting quarterback for the Texans next year. But he has really shown a lot of growth in the second half of the season.
And poise. Rookies don't always get. There's a little pooch kick, and it is gathered in by the Jaguars. Laviska Shenault at about midfield. And here's the reality of the situation for the Colts. 4:25 to play. They have no chance to stop the clock with the exception of a 2-minute warning.
No chance, and only chance is really, a catastrophic mistake by Jacksonville, and allowing guys like Leonard or somebody to punch the ball out, turnovers. That was one of the things that's been their calling card this year, trying to be #1 in turnovers. Was a huge goal for this Colts defense. They were competing with the Dallas Cowboys. They were tied, right, going into yesterday, and Dallas had 1 takeaway. So as of right now, the Colts 2nd in the league in takeaways, and sure could have used some in this game.
See, there is a penalty marker thrown. Well, it's an important call because everybody's talking about it. Here's Clay Martin. I don't know, Arch. I didn't see anything unless it might have been an offside on the kick. Whatever it is generating an awful lot of conversation for under 4.5 minutes to play in the last game of the regular season. Here we go.
There is no foul on the play. First down.
All righty. Pretty.
Don't you just love?
I appreciate them getting that call, right?
Yeah. Don't you just love the way the game of football goes and the so-called experts? No way could Jacksonville beat the Indianapolis Colts today. No way could Detroit hang with the Green Bay Packers today. So Frank Reich wants to know what's going on. And it's not that this is meaningless to Frank Reich. It means
no, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Who do you think won that conversation, Greg?
The Zebras always win the conversation.
It's a rigged game.
Did you say rigged? Did you ever get any personal fouls?
Yeah.
Did you get a bunch of them?
Surprisingly, not really. No, it's pretty good. Everything was pretty much legal when I played.
What's that?
Ogunbowale. And he makes it to the 46-yard line once again. Baltimore and Pittsburgh on the minds of JV and coach.
The Golden Foot creating drama.
Justin Tucker, 46 yards out. It's good with 1:13 to go. Pittsburgh will get the ball, and it's been great talking to you guys all day, Greg. You're now.
All knotted at 13. Back to Greg.
They act like they're finished with us.
I doubt it.
That was like a kiss-off.
I'm a little sad that we got 4 minutes now, and it's all about to come to an end this season. For us, anyway.
Thank you, guys.
What's that?
Ogunbowale once again, this time almost at the point of handoff by DeForest Buckner. And the clock continues to wind down on this Indianapolis Colts team that came in here with such high hopes today.
Well, I think especially after this game, it hasn't been very often it's been apparent for the Colts, but it's sure clear that as good as their running game is with that guy Jonathan Taylor, they were too dominant on one side, right? The passing game was really just a complementary piece that was able to capitalize off that run game, but the passing game just not consistently good enough because it's kind of a cliche, right? But as you get into the must-win games and you get into the playoffs against the teams with the good defenses, you can't be one-dimensional, right? Eventually, they're going to force you. You've got to go to your off-speed pitch, and you've got to be able to play well enough against the best defenses And clearly the passing game isn't where it needs to be counted on if the Colts have to be in a pass-first mentality.
They're going to let this wind down. And the Jaguars have 2 timeouts to use. So it appears they'll take one just before the play clock expires. (26-11) Jacksonville. And the AFC playoff picture. Well, Indianapolis find themselves on the outside looking in, needing an awful lot of help from around the league if they're to make the postseason this year. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, that's still a tie game. The Vegas Chargers, as we've mentioned, are in a win and in situation tonight. Unhappy group of Colts. This is a 4th and 2. Lawrence is going to keep it and spinning, and he get the first down. It looks like he did. At the 2-minute warning, it is looking awfully good for the Jacksonville Jaguars and their fans. We'll be back in just a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sonic. This is how we Sonic. And by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
They are dancing in Jacksonville, and man, when's the last time that happened? 2 minutes to play here in the 4th. And Jacksonville with the ball at the Indianapolis 38-yard line.
Listen.
And the need gives us an opportunity to say, this is our finale too. Our thanks to just a terrific crew headed up by our producer, Jonathan Siegel. Steve Milton sitting in for Mark Grant in the director's chair today. Everyone in the truck. A.J. Ross down on the sideline, and you. It's been a fun year working with you.
Yeah, well, I would second that to the crew and, of course, to A.J. on the sideline. And, Greg, I opened up this season saying that I was really looking forward to sharing the booth with a living legend. And I mean that seriously. It has been a tremendous season, and so happy that you have welcomed me to be your partner. And pretty sad that the season is coming to an end. But I really did have a lot of fun, partner.
Let's do it again next year.
Yep, I'm in.
The clock goes tick, 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 coming up on a minute to play in a stunning football game here in Jacksonville.
Just didn't see it coming. I just didn't see this one coming. I really felt like the Colts were ready to put it all together and make a run, but man, Jacksonville really came out and just played an incredible game. Dominant effort from Jacksonville to, put a silver lining to the end of the season.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh, still tied, still in action, so Indianapolis not officially out of it. Boy, what a depressing loss for Indianapolis here today, and what a stunning victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finish off a horrible season on as high a note as you can get. We thank you for being with us, not just today, all season long. For Adam, for AJ, for our entire crew, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Jacksonville, James Brown in New York.
Indy's loss hurts them, but they